What is up, guys? Pop 101 here, and today, well, how about we actually share this? So, tell me why I cannot share this. There we go. Okay. What's up, guys? Pop 101 here. Today, I'm going to be working on the Tailed Beast map. So, let's just get straight into it. Alrighty. Here it is. Now, there is one thing we need to do with this map, which is a little bit different, is because it is a dot mesh, we have to go into Blender and we actually need to convert it. Because normally, it will not work. So, let's pop out the chat so I can answer any questions if you guys have them. Now let's open up Blender. And you know what? Let me create a copy for myself. That way I don't have to keep going into it and trying to find it. Yeah, maybe not. Alright. Let's open this up. Now that we're in Blender, we can delete the generic cube. We go to File, Import, and let's well, there was more than just these two. Okay, so you know what we're gonna do real quick. Let's take the Tail Beast Temple and let's put it in our desktop. Tailed Beast Temple is right here. So now that we have that open, what we're going to be doing is just going into it, importing this mesh. Just give it a second. Ah, here we go. Okay, that looks pretty cool to me. File, export, and now we need to convert it to something. Let's just do a .fbx. Tailed beast temple. To the active collection and export it. Probably should have chosen where specifically to export it to. And here we are. So if we cut it, and we plop it in here in place of this, and we just open it up just to check. This is our tailed beast temple. Honestly, it's pretty sweet. This is my first time actually looking at it, so I hope it is just as good as it looks right there. Okay, and this is my Technoplanet map, which is going to be released soon. But for now, what we can do is if we take this, let's save our scene as Tailed Beast Temple. We can save it under our where all of our maps are. Save it. Now go to our very own save. And since we have this, we can go ahead and delete everything from the other map that we do not need. Like our colliders, our secondary books, and we don't need this special kill zone, but let's reactivate the original one. Now we have this. What we can do now is simply just import everything. And let's just name this as textures. Plop it in. Now once it's in, we have all of our lovely textures and we have our map right here. That is perfect. Let's put it in and take a look. Now first off, when going through this, we do not need, if you can see, these right here. Those are lights, which we do not need. We don't need camera. Don't need lights, so we can delete those. And we do need the armature. So it is a bit weird how some of these are done, but if you look at them, they're skin mesh renders instead of the normal mesh renders that we usually use. Let's just make sure that you guys can hear me. That would be kind of important. Just message in the chat if you can. What's up, Hyde? Perfect. Okay. We have it open. What's weird about it is that we do need the armature because hello, Brooke. Oh, I guess maybe not. Normally you do. Oh, yeah, you do. So if I try to save it without the armature actually on, it doesn't want to work. have all of our textures, what we can do is actually go over to this, zoom in so we have a good picture to work with. And let's start creating some materials. As always, set it to both. I like starting them both at 0.5, 0.5, so it's a little bit shiny. And due to the numerous textures that we have, let's make a bunch. Now it's going to be a little tough to get started, but now we have to go figure out which goes where. Luckily, all of these textures are already PNGs. Normally, if we go to properties, normally with the ones that I download from, what do you call this? From Divine Art, they're DDS, and they need to be converted to work better in Unity. Luckily, it's not, so what we're going to be doing. Do I need this? Let's delete that. I guess we do need it because there is a top. So if we zoom in, let's start with working on some of the statues. Now just taking a look at some of the textures, they don't really look like they're going to belong to the statues. At least not all of them. So what we can do is experiment and just try to figure out which one it belongs to. This actually colors two of them, which is not the best, but you know what? Can make do with it. And we keep looking at the ones with the picture right there. It'd be nice if they were labeled. How about we work on a single one? That'd be a little bit easier to see. Okay. Yes, I'm trying to use this image right here as a reference because it doesn't explicitly say. Yep. So it doesn't explicitly. I downloaded these textures and this entire map. It would be nice if they were all labeled properly, but they're not. This picture, these guys look promising right here. Because I guess they look a little bit green in the picture. So you know what we're going to do. So we're going to test them all out, because sometimes it's a little bit tough. That looks about right, because if we look at this, there's this mark right there. But since we are on the second one, we're on this guy right here. So if we take a look at it, don't think it's that one. I'm pretty sure. We do this right here. We just plop this texture in. I believe it's like this. Yep, that one has it, that one has it. These other ones, we can't really tell. So what we're going to do is just try to find the second one right now with some marks right there, and on the arm. Most of the time with modding, the creators, the models, or whoever rip the assets in case, like this, they label it properly, but in this case I guess not. So why don't we try using this texture? Yep, that looks like it's it. And what we're going to be doing now is let's try to find... This one has some markings on the leg. You can't really tell the rest of it because it's blocked off. So what we're going to do is just try to figure out what it could possibly be. Huh, I guess the fourth one right here. Thank you very much. I appreciate that, Colodex. This one looks like it has some marks there, some marks on the chest, unless that's just shadow. This is my biggest mod by far, and definitely my favorite to work on. So I'm very happy to hear that you like it, that you use it a lot. Okay, so if we look at it, it has some slight marks on the shoulder. And it looks like this one does as well. 1, 2, 3, 4. That is the fourth one. Now let's try to find one with marks on the leg for the fifth. Zoom in on it. I believe it's this one right here, because if you look at the leg, I guess most of them have the markings, but I believe it's that one. That one looks to be the closest. Now, I'm going to be completely honest with you guys. It doesn't need to be exactly how it looks in the picture, but I like to keep it as similar to the thumbnail, I guess, or what's shown, just to make it a little bit easier to deal with, because the place where people normally get models from, the free ones, is from Sketchfab. These are all free right here. Well, everyone that says that has this instead of the money, but if you click on it and look, some of these are actually really cool too. But it shows you the 3D model. Since this is from a different website, it does not. It just shows you the image of it. But I guess we'll make do. It's not too difficult from here. So, the first one, mark on the arm right there. And is it this one? Nope. I think it's that one. Okay, we have the second one right there, markings on the arm. And the third one as well. This one, some marks on the chest right there and on the elbow. So let's see which one that is. Some marks on the elbow. None really on the elbow. Okay, I see marks on the chest, marks on the elbow. I'm all set with that. Let's do this next one right here. It's a little bit creepy that none of them have heads, but I guess we're just going to work with it. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Chip on the shoulder. Thank you, Freya. That is a chip on the shoulder right there. No chip. No chip. Believe it's this one. And for this last guy right here, let's see. Mark on the elbow, mark on the chest. Or let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, the fifth one. Because we have done 1, 2, 3, 4, yep, 5 again. And just to check, I wonder if these are the same on both sides. Actually, no, it doesn't look that way. So let's do this last guy right here. And we said mark on the chest and the elbow. Believe it's this one. And there we go. Those guys are done. Boom. Zoom in a little bit. Now let's do this guy right here. Okay. Actually, we can see. If we look right here. Very noticeable mark on the arm, just like the third one on the left side. Perfect. Always make sure to continue saving. This one looks like there's a giant gap on the arm. So what we're going to do is just put that texture there. It's not that. Guessing it's this one. What's up, Daryl? Finally working on that map, if you can't tell. So let's just make sure that this one is right. So if we take a look at it, it is. You can also look at the name of it and then move around, which is kind of cool. But 00490. If you notice, this one is 0046, 48. Okay, 49. Let's close this up. Just so we can do this a little bit easier. 2. And let's rename this 3. Anything that can help you out. So this one is using 1, 2, and I believe that is the same. Yep, it's the same 4, 9 right there. And it's using 3. Right? Yeah. It's using 3, so in this one we're going to use 3 and it's going to look perfect. So if we check it out right now. There we go. Mark on the arm, everything. Alright. On to the next part. I'm definitely going to need some more of these. And so that we stay a little bit more organized. The finished textures, the ones that we're most likely not going to be using again. Let's just put them in here. It's looking a little better. Now, if you guys take a look at this, sometimes with these downloaded maps, you get these pillars, but if you look closely at them, they're almost transparent. They're very, very thin. And that's because in the Naruto Ultimate Ninja Storm video game, they're flat because they don't need to be 3D. They don't need to be three-dimensional. So what we can actually do is go through and delete some of them. Things like this. It's going to make it a little bit more wide open to fight, and there's not going to be those random skinny poles just sticking out. Alright. Now we have these tops right here. Let's see what we can do with them. To be completely honest, I'm not sure. Although we have this background mural right there. I recognize that. Guessing it's this wall right there. So if we use one of our newly created materials, and we take that image from right here, that doesn't look right. You can see it on there, but it's not very bright. Huh. Not entirely sure why, actually. That is right above the gate. That's right above the gate. Okay. I guess it requires a little bit of finagling. So what we're going to do is just temporarily remove it. You think is the smoothness? It might be. I mean, I figure it should still show up at least a little bit anyways. But let's give it a shot. That's kind of cool. Okay. And regardless, I mean, it kind of shows now, but that's not really helping us either because it's too dark. I might end up removing it completely. You know what? Why don't we actually work on the ground while we're at it? Maybe it does show in game. Hopefully. But, okay, we see this ground right here. I'm guessing it's probably this texture right here or this one. So it's right in front of the monks. Got some grass on the side right there. In the picture, it's on the side, so that looks to be about right. Some grass on the side. I used the valve index. Cost quite a bit, but it's a great headset. It works amazing. Curious. What about you guys? There's a poll? Never actually made a poll before, so let's give it a shot. If we open up a little bit. Let's try using that. Do you guys see the poll that I just created? Just comment down below. That's a bit annoying. Okay, so we've got some of those blocks covered. That's for the broken blocks. And I'm guessing this. Oh, a lot of you guys use the index. That's pretty cool. That's not it. Oh, it's the same texture. Well, what do you know? It's the ground. How about we do some of those as well? So if we zoom in, it looks to be cracked. There's a little chip on that side right there, so let's actually go to that one. If it's in between these two, it's most likely right there. I get it. It does cost a lot. And being quite honest, I don't necessarily know if it was worth it. I mean, I enjoy using it, but it definitely does cost a lot of money. And I believe that's how it's supposed to look. Alright, we got that done. How about we zoom in on the stairs and get those done? They already have a shader, but I'm thinking it's probably this one that it's supposed to use. So let's take a look at this. Plop it in. Let's actually zoom in on this guy right there so we get a better shot of it. Oh, that looks a whole lot better for steps, doesn't it? So much better. I wonder if this will change it at all. Slightly, but I don't think it's it. I'm going to stick with these for steps. And if I click on it, I'm guessing it does the same thing on the other side because they're both selected. Let's actually zoom in like this. I don't really like zooming in, but probably be a little bit easier to work on this map. And then when we're finished, we can actually move all these books around. I swear, Daryl, you better get it. It is pretty great, I will say. Don't know if it's worth all that money, but it's pretty great. And I'm guessing all these little rocks are all these. So let's try it out. Ah, perfect. All the meshes got split up into two. Whoever did that is an absolute genius because that is so dumb. What problems does the Quest have? Because I was thinking about getting a Quest too. Because I know it's wireless. Oh, comfort's great. Honestly, it's honestly amazing. Being completely honest with you, I wouldn't trade it. Oh, the Quest one. It's a little bit old. And my Wi-Fi is also quite a bit spotty. So I'm in the same boat. I think that's pretty good for those. How about we try adding some textures to this guy right here? Smart. It got completely broken up again. This map is going to be a bit of a nightmare. How about we look it up, actually? Maybe we can get a 3D view of it. Or at least a better view. Ah, there's waterfalls too, that's great. There looks to be a heck of a lot more of these statues. Ah, that's also Storm Revolution. This is Ultimate Ninja Storm 3. Okay. Okay, let's keep working on this guy right here. I think that might have been it. At least almost. It's pretty close. That looks a little bit closer. I really don't know what's up with this lighting. It's horrible. As for this, let's try it right here too. Are there any other pictures I can do? Yeah, I guess not. Okay. Well, this looks to be like some windows. Or at least something like that. So I guess let's just plop it on and hope for the best. That's quite interesting that this is one entire texture. That all of those models are together. Because of that repeating pattern right there, I can almost guarantee it's not that. But this one right here is a bit more promising. Just to make life a little bit easier, let's delete all these white textures that really don't have much of a purpose, because I don't plan on using them. Nope, never watched One Piece. Only anime I've ever watched is Naruto. Let me delete the real-time lights. Because there shouldn't be any light maps on this. You know what I'm going to do, guys? Let's be a little bit smart. Let's see. Tail Beast Temple. Okay. So if we take a look at this, possibly. I think that was the issue with my other map that I had made. At least that's good to know. But if you notice, the lighting on everything is a heck of a lot better right now. Okay. Let's just copy that name. Don't tell me I just lost everything I just did. Please do not. And it looks like I just did. Cool. Alright, guys. I can happily say this is not the end of the video. What we're going to do real quick. We're actually going to restore our files. Daryl, do not even. I don't want to hear anything. Oh, an Assassin's Creed Hidden Blade? That's being worked on right now by 2 different people. So yes, it'll come to light again. Do not worry. And let's restore it right here. There it is. Alright, how are we looking? And our save is back. Beautiful. I no longer have the urge to cry. Okay. Spending all that. I spent an hour working on it. Let's drag that on. Delete the camera. Let's delete that. Let's remove that. Let's save this as this. See, you know how it is, Daryl. Sometimes this just happens. Kind of sucks, but there we go. Because I want, also for those of you that are watching this, I like when everything is named properly and so that it's easy to find. But okay, here we are. So much better. So let's go back to our inspector and get back to work. You know, after doing all this, it makes me realize that I need to fix the lighting on one of my other maps. Okay. Let's try to find a decent texture for whatever these guys are right here. So they're kind of bothering me. They're just blobs. Why? Whoever made this... Gosh. Okay. That's a bit annoying. Because there's still, right here, there's 2 different... Needs 2 different materials. I'm not even going to work on that right now. Let's try and figure out what all this is. See, that's a little bit easier to work with. It's probably going to be house-like, so... I don't think it's that. Based on the look of this, I might actually just end up deleting it because it doesn't really add much to our model. Never mind. They're both together. Okay. So let's do it again. It'd be easier if they were just boxes. And those are both the exact same. Okay. What could it be? What could it be? Well, that looks still kind of horrible, but let's try to figure this one out. Daryl, I will say for these. Oh. 3 times? That's horrible. That looks like it might be a crack right there. This is one of the more tedious parts of making mods, but you see me putting in the effort. I'm trying to make this map as perfect as I can for you guys. That one looks a lot closer. Let's take a look at this right here. Maybe it would be a good idea to look at this. Daryl, that is also why you never touch the code. Speaking of code, let's go back to the picture. I was hoping I could see some of the stage, but guess not. That looks kind of decent. Luckily, getting enemies to fight on this map is going to be very easy to do. Let's try doing this from another perspective. I don't really even know what Demon Slayer is, so I can't help you with that. If you give me an idea of what some of the spells or whatever they are do, then I'd probably be a little bit more help. Aha! That looks right. But being completely honest, the coding really isn't that difficult unless you get into stuff that, like, let's say, Lineca is doing. Some of his stuff gets a bit intense. Now, I don't know if that's for the roof. For the rest of it, it looks. Okay. Yeah, DM me. Okay, so we've got some wood right there. Let's take a peek at that. And do we have anything that looks like that? Probably this. So let's give it a shot. Interesting, those textures are very different. Ah, there we go. You know, I can't actually find much of a difference in them, so let's delete that. And we have our nice little hut right there. Putting it on the front, that looks fine. And it looks like if we go down a bit, on this wall right here, belongs to this texture. Perfect. Now it looks like there's some grooves and stuff in it that we can't see. Oh. That looks a little bit better, doesn't it, guys? On the top. Now there's some lovely brick at the bottom. So let's go find that. Honestly, it's probably this one right here. Right there. Huh. Look at that. Guessing that adds a little bit of flair to it. Although I don't see anything like that in the picture. So what we're going to do is just delete them. And delete that. And we cannot. So what we're going to have to do is fill it in. Let's work on that right now. Perfect, perfect, perfect. That is the exact one, and if you can tell because it's a seamless transition from this texture to that one right there. Beautiful. Now these lines right here, I have no idea what those are. Goodbye, friendly neighbor John. Now let's actually try looking at that again. Now that I think about it. Because we should be able to see it, if I'm not mistaken. Go back into perspective. Just drag it on. And still can't see it. Well, it's not metallic. It really doesn't need to be smooth. Let's just set it to 0.1 for now. And if we take a look at the rest of the walls, it's about the same thing. So now let's find a texture that works right along with it. We need another seamless transition. Doesn't look to be that one. Might actually be this. I think it is. That's perfect. Now let's color this. So, I wonder if I just figured something out. If we look at all these, I'm guessing these are all the statues, correct? Yep. If we go to this right here, texture 0056. If we go back to our textures, 0056. Jeez. Well, I wasted a good bit of time, but and look at that, perfect. 0058. There we go. 132. I guess it happens sometimes. Yep, I'll definitely DM them to you, Daryl. Okay, so some of it was a waste of time. Not entirely, though. Because if the textures are labeled like this, not all the textures are labeled properly. That is perfectly fine. But it does make it a little bit easier, so 0057. That is already done perfectly. 56, yep, that's done. 0058. That is not done properly. There we go. Starting to look like a real map now. Guess we don't really need the ceiling either. All of these are connected somehow. I mean, I can always just delete them, but how about what we do is something a little bit better. I don't think the pillars were the waterfalls, because that was for the different game. I mean, for something like this right here, I could always easily just let's put this guy. Adds a little bit of spice to it. I mean, for the most part, the map is done. These books just, need to get put on here somewhere. But something very important that I gotta teach you new guys is how to make your NPCs actually be able to walk in the map. So what we can do is we select any surface that you want walkable, and we check this right here. Or you go into it and you turn on just the navigation static. In our case, it really doesn't matter a heck of a lot, but I'm going to be turning on the navigation static for every part that we can walk on. So so these two, that one, that, not that. Are those the steps? Well, we need the steps. Those are important. After I select these, just pay attention because this part is pretty important. Hello, Mentia. So let's set those all to be navigation static. Save it. And if we go to navigation, we bake it. Nope. I changed my mind. Hold on. With them all selected, what you want to do is add a mesh collider. And in our case, after we deselect that, There we go. In our case, mesh collider, and this is all stone. Save it. Now that we have a collider, navigation, we bake. And the fact that it didn't work means that I need to make all the colliders manually. Lovely. Well, it's been fun. Okay. But I think that covers the majority of this video, so for those of you that are still watching, if you like this video, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe. It helps out the channel a ton, and I'd greatly appreciate it. If you have not already, link below down to my Discord server where you can learn how to make mods for Blade and Sorcery. You can just hang out with the community in general and just, have a good time. But with that, guys, thank you so much for watching.